Hello and welcome to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live news and update show. I'm Tyler Kieft. It's all part of our 90 minutes of live news and talk each and every day. Of course, it begins with the Splash Live at 9:30 a.m. right here across our local Civic Center TV network. Usually it's with Dave Scott, but he is the birthday boy today, the birthday boss man, and off for the rest of this week, so you'll have me in the mornings here at 9:30 on the Splash Live today, Thursday, and Friday at 9:30. Then at 10 o'clock, you're stuck with me for another full 60 minutes, should you stay with us here on Civic Center TV with the MegaCast, where we expand out further into the Oakland County area each and every day, talking to a number of different guests, going over the latest stories affecting Oakland County, as well as a little bit further out as we venture across the state of Michigan. That's happening at 10 a.m. As I said, it's all exclusively right here on Civic Center TV, the Splash Live, beginning on Comcast Channel 15 in our local area for cable subscribers, as well as on AT&T Channel 99. You can also find us online on our website in full high definition on CivicCenterTV.com. Just click on our Watch Live link at the top of the page or in the left margin of your screen on your mobile devices, or you'll find us even in that small little player on the front homepage so that you can explore some of our other content on the homepage, look at what we've done recently that's sitting there, and watch us and listen to us live, or just put us on your computer as you're cleaning around the house, doing some work in the office or at home, and kind of treat this like a podcast too. You can do that right on our website, CivicCenterTV.com. on our Watch Live page. In addition, we're on social media. We're on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. Facebook.com/CivicCenterTV15 is the place to go to find us on social media. We're also live on YouTube each and every day at Civic Center TV, or you can just search Civic Center TV West Bloomfield or Greater West Bloomfield on YouTube and find our page. And so either watch us live on our YouTube or watch us on demand or live to tape, as we say here in the business, on our YouTube page. Civic Center TV is the handle there, youtube.com/CivicCenterTV15. You can also listen to us on the radio on 89.3 Lakes FM across the Greater West Bloomfield area, as well as on its website at lakesfm.com. Follow us across all of these different outlets to join us each and every single day right here on the Splash Live. The Splash Live, 9:30 a.m. every single day, every single week, right here in the Greater West Bloomfield area, your live news and update show. Now let's get into weather. Your forecast today, not quite as warm as the first couple of days of the week, nor the days ahead. Your high today expected to be 44, and a light rain and snow system is also expected later on in the day. Nothing major, nothing to be worried and panic about, not like the ice storm and the snowstorm of the past several weeks that we've experienced, but a little bit of precipitation this afternoon and into the evening. Chance of rain in our local area is 70%, and the chance for some high winds westward at around 18 miles per hour as well. Tonight, low of 20 degrees with clear skies and winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Then on Thursday, don't call it a comeback, but just some afternoon cloud cover. You can expect a sunnier day here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Your daytime highs will be around 46 with winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then at night, your lows are around 37 degrees with the occasional late night shower and for about 50% of our local area. But all eyes are on Friday, as usual. What a great day. It's one of our favorite days of the week. There's only 7 of them to choose from, but for other reasons, on top of it being the end of your work week and that relaxation at the weekend, perhaps you're going to be on spring break next week instead of this week or in the past weeks, and so that's something else to look forward to. But if you're sticking around our local area, it's going to feel like spring break here in Greater West Bloomfield. Daytime highs on Friday around 60, where temps will remain for about a week, veering between the high 40s and the low 60s, with future forecasts showing 49 degrees on Sunday as the lowest daytime temperature predicted over the next course of the week. Now let's take a look at what's happening around town, what's making news, what's coming up, and who's making a splash in our local area. Big news from our local West Bloomfield High School athletes and alumni making headlines this week. First, from West Bloomfield High School's figure skating team, who won the Michigan High School Figure Skating State Championship, defeating 10 other school programs in the process. The team placed third in jumps and in spins and second place in moves, but number one overall in the state in points, tying with Birmingham in the process. That caused a runoff competition in order to break the tie, the championship coming home to Laker Nation. Congratulations to the whole squad, especially those pictured here on your screen if you're watching us across our television and online streaming network. Joe Maravilla, Emily Schwartz, and Emma Weibel, the three athletes featured in this picture along with their coach, bringing home the hardware for WB. Congratulations to the figure skating team who made it all the way to the state competition and won the Michigan Figure Skating High School Championship for 2023, and that goes right along with our other recent championship qualifying athletes, such as our girls basketball team. We think about a few years ago with the West Bloomfield High School football team winning the state title during a very tumultuous COVID year. We have great athletes here at West Bloomfield High School and in the Greater West Bloomfield area at all of our schools across our school districts, but a big congratulations to the West Bloomfield High School figure skating team for their state championship victory. Someone who knows a thing or two about bringing home the big trophy is Samaj Morgan, a Laker legend in his own right, who is now at the University of Michigan, where he begins his collegiate football career in Jim Harbaugh and former Lakers head coach Ron Bellamy's wide receiver room. Now Morgan, nicknamed Jukebox, is a star in the making, and we saw that last season right here in West Bloomfield, where he racked up 14 touchdowns in all three phases of the game for the Lake Show on the gridiron as a senior. In today's college football landscape especially, but across college sports, if you are a star, you can make a pretty penny along the way thanks to new rules surrounding what are called name, image, and likeness profits, otherwise more commonly known as NIL. While many would take their money and run for personal gain, savings for the future, of course paying for what parts of their college education may not be covered by athletics, many also decide to give back to their community, and that's exactly what Juke is doing, forming the Samaj J. Morgan Foundation, which will use proceeds from his NIL money to help provide food, clothes, education, health awareness, after-school programs, and more to kids across our local area, partnering with another nonprofit known as Mothers Making a Difference along the way, continuing to do great things on and off the field, not just in our local community, but across the state of Michigan. There's, of course, a big community surrounding Michigan football. I'm, of course, not part of that. Go green, go white. That's the wrong side. This is my MSU Spartan spin over here that I've been wearing over the last month or so on each of these programs, particularly the MegaCast. But a big, huge shout out to Samaj Morgan, to his family, to his parents, Erica and Samaj T. Morgan, Coach Morgan, for all that they're doing. And that really does speak to Samaj as an athlete, Samaj as a person, to that family, and to really our student athletes in our local area who do go on to great things at the next level, giving back to their community too. We see that even in East Lansing at Michigan State with other West Bloomfield athletes who are starring on that team, like Dylan Tatum, who went to Michigan State and is going into his sophomore season with the Spartans, and Trey Mosley, who's now being called the OG in the wide receivers room in East Lansing, a senior for the Michigan State Spartans. Much like Samaj, doing amazing things in communities all across Michigan and beyond to give back to the community, given the state of NIL and, of course, the kind of money that goes around in college sports today. It's great to see these student athletes focusing on giving back to their community just as much, if not more, than they are of course, making some money themselves as they deserve for what they bring to those universities and to those school programs. Lastly, in sports, happy trails to West Bloomfield Lakers defensive backs coach Kason Dickerson, who announced last week that he is moving on to a new opportunity coaching defensive backs now at Detroit's Cass Tech High School. Despite the obvious sadness of his exit from the football program, Coach Dickerson tweeted at some of the Laker players that he still is remaining as a counselor at West Bloomfield High School. He is here for them and will continue to help them develop as young men on and off of the football field. Congratulations to Coach Dickerson on his new journey from one power program to another, and he has been incredibly influential in this West Bloomfield Lakers football program for a number of years, dating back into the Ron Bellamy era, where he was one of those key coaches in the defensive backs core for those cornerbacks and the safeties as well, kind of mixing it in, but really had a big influence across the entire program for his years here in WB, and moving on to a great opportunity and another excellent coaching staff under Marvin Rushing and the team at Detroit Cass Tech, who have a great roster themselves, and they'll be able to impact a lot more young men on and off the field in Detroit while he continues to make an impact right here in West Bloomfield as a counselor at West Bloomfield High School. One power program to another. Congratulations to Coach Dickerson. In news today, congratulations to Officer Joe Molinaro from Sylvan Lakes Police Department, or let me correct myself. That's now Sergeant Joe Molinaro, as Chief Corey O'Donohue promoted him to the position of Sergeant this week after 5 years with the Sylvan Lake Police Department. Molinaro has a wealth of law enforcement experience, joining the Sylvan Lake Police Department 5 years ago after a 20-year career in the Detroit Police Department. Described by Chief O'Donohue, Sergeant Molinaro is quite an extremely competent and good-natured officer who is always willing to do whatever is asked of him. Chief O'Donohue said, quote, "I recognized early on that Joe was an informal leader within the police department, and in my experience, those officers tend to make the best supervisors," and closed quote. So congratulations to Sergeant Joe Molinaro coming up in the ranks in the Sylvan Lake Police Department. Coming up around town, residents and non-residents can register now for West Bloomfield Parks' Spring Fling Egg Scramble and Flashlight Hunt. Say that 6 times fast, which is coming up next Thursday at Drake Sports Park. The event will be from 4:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. in various time slots, with the Flashlight Hunt beginning around 8:30 p.m. I presume it, as it says, approximately 8:30 p.m. And that would mean that they're right around the time it's going to start to get dark, where those flashlights are really going to become a key part of the experience for those kids attending this event. $7 is the registration fee for residents. $9 is the cost for non-residents to attend. And of course, West Bloomfield Parks always happy to invite people from both within the Greater West Bloomfield communities and our surrounding areas into these events. You can learn more and sign up at wbparks.org. That is wbparks.org for information on this event and other great events and programs through West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation. It's severe weather season, but Oakland County wants to keep you up to date on inclement weather and other emergencies as well with Oak Alert. This free service comes courtesy of the Oakland County Homeland Security Division and will send you alerts for emergencies such as chemical spills, serious road closures, evacuation notices, public health and safety notifications, and more. To learn more, you can go to oakgov.com/emergency-management, oakgov.com/emergency-management, or visit them on Facebook at oakgov.hs, oakgov.hs on Facebook. Lastly, coming up in the middle parts of April, mid to late April, in Sylvan Lake, mark your calendars for a buzzin' time at the Sylvan Lake Community Center with Bees in the D, who will talk about pollinators and plants that support them here in our local area and across Michigan. Thursday, April 20th at 7 p.m. at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. This is a free event courtesy of our friends at the Sylvan Lake Garden Club, and is a family-friendly event as well. Before you go, you can learn more about Bees in the D from my show, The MegaCast, where we talked to founder Brian Peterson-Roast on a recent edition of the show about all the work that they do in our local area. That is on civiccentertv.com on our on-demand page, or at civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you can watch that, or just search Bees in the D on civiccentertv.com. We've done a lot of programming with them in the past, a lot of interviews with Brian Peterson-Roast in the past about the work that they're doing, including their partnership with West Bloomfield Parks. That's all on our on-demand page, where you can learn so much more. Let's take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, we're just 8 days away from Detroit Tigers opening day, but the young men in green and white over at West Bloomfield High School are already playing ball on the baseball diamond. Joining us next, their head coach Josh Birnberg will be with us to talk about this year's squad, already off to a hot start on the baseball diamond. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
When the temperatures are chilly, being together warms the soul. Keep the winter fun going. Help protect yourself and those around you by keeping your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Many people are feeling overwhelmed and struggling with mental wellness these days. So be kind to your mind. Give yourself permission to breathe. Share your feelings. You are not alone. Have hope. Talk to a Stay Well counselor for free confidential help 24/7 through the COVID-19 hotline.
I'm Steve Eiserman of the Detroit Red Wings, and I think every child in Michigan deserves a safe, healthy, and happy childhood. Can we build a state where Children Trust Michigan isn't just a name, but something our kids believe? Please support Children Trust Michigan as the voice for children and families by visiting the website to learn more.
There are many different kinds of noses. Our noses can sniff out all kinds of things. Good things and bad things. Your nose knows if those sniffles are just a cold, allergies, or COVID-19. So swab it. Test it. It's good to know.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Back to the Splash Live, part of our 90 minutes of live news and talk each and every day. The Splash Live, of course, 9:30 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday during the week, followed by my show, The MegaCast, at 10 a.m., where we explore a little bit further out into Oakland County and across the state of Michigan. But let's stick around here in the Greater West Bloomfield area for a short time more as we now bring in Josh Birnberg, the coach of West Bloomfield Lakers Varsity Baseball. Their season is already off to a very hot start. Josh, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me on as always.
Yeah, love having you on to talk about this team. It's had an exciting last few years of baseball and really a ton of promise behind this baseball team. Let's talk about this year's team. What's special about them and what's the potential for this year's squad on the diamond?
Yeah, well, we bring back a lot of really good players that have had a lot of big-time experience for us. So sky's really the limit. I mean, we have big goals. I think for the first time, we can honestly say that we think that we can compete for a state championship, for the first time in a while. So we're not afraid to put that out there. And it's a big goal for all of us, and especially our seniors that have been around and playing now for a while. So that's our goal. We're playing a really hard league that should get us prepared for the playoffs. So, yeah, sky's the limit for us, and we're happy to be finally underway and get games going.
I know you got some players recently who have signed their national letters of intent and are going to be playing baseball at the next level. And so for them coming into their final season at WB, this is really a great time for them to show what they're made of to their coaches at the next level, but also for those other guys that have those aspirations to go on to the next level to show what they're made of as well. So for a team like this that has those championship aspirations, that championship potential, but is also trying to build those opportunities for these kids, as a coach, how do you balance that or help the guys balance that as they're working as a team toward a variety of different goals?
Yeah, well, it was important for a lot of our guys to get that out of the way before the season started, to kind of take that weight off their shoulders so they could just focus on the season instead of trying to figure out where they're going to the next level. And then for the younger guys that aren't committed yet, we've been fortunate to have a lot of guys commit to play baseball at the next level the last few years since I've been here, and really, throughout the baseball program for the last 10, 15 years. So we've been sending a lot of guys on the next level, which is awesome. Colleges take notice of our program. They come out and watch us play and reach out to me about our players that are uncommitted. So, it's great. The guys that are committed, like I said, the weight's off their shoulders. So the goal is just baseball now. They don't have to worry about that and have the pressure of, trying to impress a school. And then, we just all want to win. The more we win, I think the more attention that we get. So our younger guys are more worried about just playing well and helping the team win as much as possible. And they know the college stuff will come as that goes.
We're joined by Josh Birnberg, the coach of the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity baseball team. Their squad already off to a very hot start. Just yesterday played a game against Waterford Mott High School that only lasted 2 innings because of the run rule. Eight runs in the first inning, 10 in the second inning. I mean, that's a game where you got some guys, too, that were coming up and making their first starts of the season. Really great showing from your team yesterday on the diamond. What is that difference this year that's made this team take that next step forward, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, I was proud of our guys yesterday. We have all our seniors basically gone for spring break. So it was a great opportunity for a lot of guys to get in there that have been practicing really hard and deserved an opportunity to play. So it was awesome to see them not only get in there, but play well and have a big win for us. But yeah, we're just trying to keep the momentum going. We had a huge year last year. So I think we kind of all believe now that we can do it. When you have a year like that, I think it kind of makes all the hard work pay off and, know that we're doing things the right way. So just trying to continue that momentum and take even the next step here, which is going to be hard to do, but we're all ready for the challenge.
And it's interesting, too, because in baseball in particular, like any other sport at the high school level, it's a long season. It's an enduring season. You got a lot of games ahead of you before you even start to think about playoffs and certainly about making it to the state championship game. And so seeing that play from maybe down the depth chart, from those guys that maybe are going to get some playing time, but maybe not at that starting level day after day throughout the season, that has to be a huge positive for you and your coaching staff, especially this early in the season when they're playing that kind of baseball.
Huge positive. Absolutely. To know that we have that kind of depth is awesome. And it really was kind of like a sneak preview into what the team will look like next year. We only had one senior there yesterday, and I DH'd him, and he's usually our starting shortstop. So every kid in the field was an underclassman that will be back next year, and was a pretty cool look into what the future will look like. And, we got a lot of good players and a lot of good depth. So I was extremely happy for them and extremely happy for the program to see how yesterday went.
And we have, there's been some stories recently in our local area that have gotten some traction, particularly on social media in the high school sports area, about athletes participating in multiple sports throughout the year. And it really came up as a topic of conversation surrounding Cass Tech, who just won the D1 basketball championship with multiple players on those teams that are either 2-sport or even 3-sport athletes who are finishing up their basketball season while also participating in track. And I know on your team you have some of your top athletes who are multi-sport athletes. What does that bring to students to have experience, not just on the baseball diamond, but in other sports and other team environments, and then to play also on your baseball team in the spring?
Oh, I love it. The more sports these guys play, the better. As you know, obviously, we have a lot of guys that play football and a lot of guys through the years that have played football and baseball. So with our football program being so good, you're talking about kids getting big-time experience in big-time games, during football season. So it's just the more big-time games and the more sports that these guys play, the better. No, it's no hate toward anyone that just plays one sport. That's great, too. But you got to be all in with whatever you do. So whether you're playing 2 or 3 sports, whether you just play one, make sure you're all in with that. And, I encourage guys to play as many sports as possible. So, I played a couple sports and loved it. And, these guys got to play as many sports as they can for as long as they can. So I love it and would always encourage guys to do that as much as possible.
We're joined on the Splash Live by West Bloomfield Lakers varsity baseball coach Josh Birnberg, also a graduate of West Bloomfield High School where you played baseball too. You're a baseball guy through and through, so I got to ask you as we approach the beginning of Major League Baseball season, what are your opinions on the new rules, the pitch clock, the bigger bases, the lack of the shift? Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, obviously it's been getting a lot of blowback from our old traditional, baseball fans. I mean, I'm kind of more old school, so I don't love to see a little bit of what's going on. It seems like some of the things that the ideas are kind of in the right spaces, but it doesn't seem like they're executing it the right way, and it's kind of taken away from the game a little bit, and it's not really baseball. So I know they're trying to speed the game up, but feel like there's got to be some better ways to do it than what we've seen so far. So, I got to see more as the regular season plays out. I know that maybe they'll change some things as spring training ends. And as we get into the regular season, I saw even some rules that might be taken away a little bit, which would be nice to see. So I don't want to be too critical until the regular season starts, but definitely seeing some things that are pretty crazy that I would hope don't last too much longer.
Yeah, I saw some of those rules have an effect in spring training, some games being called late due to some of the errors that come along with particularly that pitch clock, and also seeing some of the strategy that surrounds the shift going away and impacting games as well. Joining us is Josh Birnberg, the head coach of the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity baseball team, on today's edition of the Splash Live. And as we talk about baseball season coming up, we talked about Major League the Major League's rules. Tigers baseball, not exactly in the best spot it's been in recent years. What are your predictions? What are your thoughts on this upcoming season for the Tigers?
Yeah. It's upsetting because, when I was growing up, around these kids' age in middle school, high school, we were really good, and we had been really bad. So, we were appreciating how good the team was for those 5, 6, 7 years. And now we just have not had anything to really even look forward to for a long time now. So it feels like the rebuild is kind of starting over. I know our regular season win total is not very high in Vegas, which makes sense. So, always excited though for the start of the season. You never know. You just never know. We got some young guys that are kind of like a prove it year for some of those guys. So excited to see how they play, and just excited for baseball to be back in general, and see those guys play. And, when the MLB starts, it feels like baseball season officially is underway. So excited to see those guys get started on Thursday out in Tampa.
Yeah, exciting season coming up for Major League Baseball. It's an exciting time of the year for baseball lovers across our local area, and especially right here in the Greater West Bloomfield community, where West Bloomfield High School's Lakers baseball team is off to a very hot start so far this season. Coach, thank you very much for being with us today.
Appreciate you always having me. Have a good day.
You as well. You can learn more and keep up to date with West Bloomfield Lakers baseball and other athletics at westbloomfieldathletics.com. You can also follow along with the baseball team on Twitter at LakersBBallWB. At LakersBBallWB is their handle on Twitter. That is going to do it for today's edition of the Splash Live. Just a couple more minutes left in our program today. So again, I want to remind you, this is all part of 90 minutes of live news and talk each and every day. If you're just joining us, you can always find us on demand on CivicCenterTV.com. Usually our episodes from all of our 90 minutes of news, including individual segments such as our conversation with Lakers baseball coach Josh Birnberg today, will be posted around 1 p.m. this afternoon. So whether you're on your break this afternoon, taking a lunch break, and want to get some updates on what's going on in your community, or you want something to watch tonight that is enjoyable, it's family friendly, that you can enjoy and learn about what's going on in your hometown, in your local area, all on our website, CivicCenterTV.com. Just click on our on-demand page or find us on the homepage with all of our content from today's 90 minutes of news. And as always, you can join us on Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. for the Splash Live, usually with Dave Scott. For the rest of this week, it's going to be me filling in. We'll have plenty of more news and updates and fun that's happening all around the Greater West Bloomfield area each and every day as we wrap up this week. That is it for our show today. Big thank you to Josh Birnberg from the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity baseball team for joining us, as well as congratulations to all those making headlines today. Samaj Morgan, Coach Kason Dickerson from the football team moving on to Cass Tech, and of course the West Bloomfield Lakers figure skating team winning that state championship, and the Sergeant Joe Molinaro from the Sylvan Lake Police Department on his promotion to sergeant from regular officer. And thank you as well to our crew, Jared Clark at the studio of My Michigan TV, as well as Calvin Brown, our director at Master Control here at Green Media Center in West Bloomfield Township on the campus of Chico Elementary. That does it for today's edition of the Splash Live. We'll return soon with a new episode, and in the meantime, take care of each other. We'll be back tomorrow. Splash Live.